What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before we get into everything that is this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors, like I say every week, every rumor that I am about to read to all of you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven fact or true by the company or the rumor is about, they remain what they are, which are rumors. So with that, let's get into everything that is a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors. And here we go. We are getting on a Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk program right now because Pat McAfee bailed earlier after all the backlash surrounding his involvement with WrestleMania, says the Observer. Randy Orton was originally going to win the title, and then McAfee backed out, and everything had to be changed around. All right, so so that Monday, Raw after Mania, we had a quick engagement between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. CM Punk came out first, spoke his mind, saying what he wanted to say, and then Cody Rhodes came out, and now a little seed, a possible seed, was planted of getting to a match where it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk. Now, I don't think it's going to be Backlash. I think a lot of us can say that it's not going to be at Backlash, even though we probably thought it may be Backlash. But I think with CM Punk taking some well-deserved time off, and after what happened this past Friday on SmackDown, with Gunther showing up after Cody Rhodes' match against Ricky Saints, who Ricky Saints made his debut on SmackDown against Cody Rhodes, which honestly, I feel that in that particular match, because it was Ricky Saints' debut, that it would have been better had Ricky Saints not lost that match, had that match end in a DQ, and Gunther would have interrupted the match and jumped Cody Rhodes in the middle of that match to put the sleeper hold on Cody Rhodes, reference about match ends in a DQ. That would have been the way to go. Instead of having the match go in a way where it ended clean, it was a good match. Mind you, it was a good match between Ricky Saints and Cody Rhodes. But I feel to protect Ricky Saints and his debut, that should have ended in a DQ. That would have followed into everything that came, what eventually came with Gunther, as he choked out Cody Rhodes not once but twice, and then as Cody Rhodes is laid out, gasping for air, Gunther stands up, holds the WWE Championship, and there you go. So I feel that at Backlash, it looks like at Backlash we're going to get a Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for that WWE Championship. So yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. As far as CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, I feel that we're going, I feel that we're going to get that in the summer, but I don't think it's going to be something that we'll get, say, like at a Clash in Italy. I mean, it is possible. I feel that a Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk is more of a match that we're building towards SummerSlam, whether night 1 or night 2, SummerSlam. I feel that is where we'll get to CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. And whoever wins that match is something we can speculate on once the match is official, and we can go from there. There are claims that Warner Brother Discovery told Tony Khan in August, this is August of 2025, that they would, no, not 2025, Let me read that again. So there are claims that Warner Brothers told Tony Khan in August, so August of this year. My mistake. That's my apologies on that. In August, that they would not be renewing AEW. So if that is true, and Warner Brother Discovery is not renewing AEW come August, then the next question really becomes, where does AEW go next? Now, I feel that a part of Warner Brothers not renewing AEW, I feel that some of that has to do, at least some of that has to do, I don't know what percentage of it, but I feel that some of it has to do with the fact that that the Paramount merger with Warner Brothers Discovery got approved. So I feel that that has a little bit to do with that. As far as if this is true, where does AEW go after August? I'm sure Tony Khan and those on his team are already in discussion, possibly about where they can go next, where their next television deal can come from, or if they just fully decide to go all in on streaming and have Dynamite, Collision, stream, and as well as their pay-per-views, because this would also mean that their pay-per-views would no longer be on Warner Brothers Discovery as well. So as far as whether or not they go all in on streaming or they find somewhere else to go, this is one of those things where we'll have to see if this is confirmed and if this is true. Something that we will learn about, I would say, definitely in the summer, but probably like around July, we'll know a lot more about this, or even sooner. Per Fightful Select, the new AEW Redemption pay-per-view will take place in Montreal. It will likely be scheduled for July, which for AEW's case works out because there is no PLE for WWE in July. There are 2 in May. There's 1 in June. There's nothing in July, and then August, September, October, November, and then that's it for WWE as far as PLE goes. So July is free and clear for a pay-per-view for AEW, and I'm sure it'll be a good pay-per-view. AEW Redemption, by the name of this pay-per-view, this sounds like something that will involve Kenny Omega possibly getting another shot for the AEW Championship, possibly winning the AEW Championship in this particular pay-per-view come July. But again, we will see as we get closer to it, because July is like 2 months out now that we're in May. So holy cow. The outlet indicates that talks are at the finish line as far as WWE bringing WrestleMania 44 to Nashville in 2028 are concerned. Nashville, Nashville's a great town. Lots of good. There's lots of fun that can be had in Nashville for WrestleMania 44. Yeah. So I'm cool with that. As far as 43 goes, it's still as long as there's a war going on in the Middle East, in Iraq, it's still a if of WrestleMania 43 being in Saudi Arabia. I know Saudi Arabia really wants WrestleMania for WWE back over there, especially when it comes to Night of Champions, when it comes to Crown Jewel, and especially when it comes to WrestleMania. Whether or not they do one night in whether they do one night in Saudi Arabia and another night somewhere else, or they do both nights in Saudi Arabia. I know Saudi Arabia wants WWE back in. Pardon me. I know Saudi Arabia wants WWE back there. So, yeah, I don't. But it's still an if. It's still a very big if for not just WrestleMania 43, but the 2 remaining pay-per-views that are supposed to be in Saudi Arabia in Night of Champions and Crown Jewel. Still an if. But as far as 44 and 28 is concerned, in Nashville, possibly, love it. Sources told Votes that AJ Lee has wrapped up her current run with WWE, and there is nothing planned for her right now. Her return to WWE isn't over, but it could be a while before she is back. It has been a fun ride to have AJ Lee back in WWE. Woman has still got it. For her to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship for the first time, and to have the run that she had with it and go all the way to WrestleMania with it and defend it at WrestleMania and to have a match at WrestleMania, especially against Becky Lynch. I have loved every second, every minute of AJ Lee being back in WWE. I know she's got other projects, other things that she does outside of WWE, so that is what she's going to be focused on. And when she does come back to WWE, we will all cheer. We will all be happy because it's AJ Lee. It's mother. So, yeah. It'll be great to see her when she comes back and whatever she's got next. I'm hoping that when she does come back, it's going to be for the either the Women's World Championship or the WWE Women's Championship. But whenever she does come back, it'll probably, I will say that I will speculate that she could be back in time for SummerSlam, possibly, because it's one of the big four PLEs. So it could be SummerSlam, or it could be leading into Survivor Series. Maybe. But whenever she does come back, it'll be a fun time. Absolutely. WrestleVotes was told that Stephanie Vaquer is legitimately injured, and it will keep her out of action for the foreseeable future, with no timeline. One source heard she will be out a minimum of 6 weeks, but there is hope she will return by SummerSlam. I strongly believe that she will be back in time for SummerSlam. When we're looking at who Liv Morgan is going to be facing at SummerSlam in August, I feel that a rematch between Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan, a WrestleMania rematch between these two women at SummerSlam is the place to do it. So I know Stephanie Vaquer is going to listen to her body and she's going to rest, but she's also going to work her ass off to heal and rehab to get back into the ring as soon as possible. Now, moving on to a few things I wanted to talk about. First off, former New Japan Pro Wrestling star Evil has signed with WWE, was confirmed this past Tuesday on NXT. He debuted this past Tuesday on NXT confronting Tony D'Angelo. Now, as far as what his name is, we are still unsure. It was announced were on the bottom of the screen where they do like the results from what the show was like up to the point they're at now. It said unknown, but is known. He was known as a mystery newcomer. So we don't have a name for him yet. It's not going to be Evil, although Vic Joseph did say Evil when talking about Evil confronting Tony D'Angelo. So I like that little touch. That was good from Vic Joseph. But as far as what his name will be in WWE, we should be knowing very soon, maybe even this week on NXT. Now also there has been former WWE superstars have departed from WWE. This was announced on Saturday that Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, JC Mateo, and Tonga Loa, they have all departed on WWE. They appeared on the alumni page of WWE. As far as Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, multiple time tag team champions, one of the best tag teams in WWE, if not all of professional wrestling, could be made the argument as one of the best tag teams. Now, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods both came to an agreement with WWE to depart ways from each other. But Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, you have I mean, being the New Day, being with WWE for a couple of decades, and what they did in that time is incredible to or how they came together organically, how they were able to create what they create in the ring, on screen, organically. Some of the best moments in WWE history came from the New Day. And I feel that they checked so much on the bucket as far as what they wanted to do in WWE. Multiple time tag team champions, WWE champion, winning Kofi Mania, having Kofi Mania and winning the WWE championship against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania was an incredible feeling. It was a great feeling. That was a great moment in WWE history, in WrestleMania history. Will forever live. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, top ballot Hall of Famers for sure. Future Hall of Famers. And you got to throw in Big E. Even though Big E is still with the company, what they did, all three of them together as a team, incredible. So whatever they got cooking next outside of WWE, I'm going to continue to root for them. I know they're going to be good. I know they're going to be great. And I'm going to keep rooting for them. And wherever they decide to go next or do next, it's going to be great. And I'm going to be happy for them and be rooting for them. As far as JC Mateo and Tonga Loa goes, JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb in New Japan Pro Wrestling hasn't really been with the company that long. Almost about a year, about a year with the company. He got put in a group with Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, and Tala Loa. Tala Tonga as the MFTs. And winning tag team champions before it was called MFTs, when they were just called when it was with just the Tongans. But as far as what comes next for them, these four names, mind you, are a shock. It is a shock that these four names are added to the alumni list in WWE. There was for Tonga Loa and JC Mateo, there was still so much that I was looking forward from them to see. Although Tonga Loa has been with the company for a couple of years, returning to WWE at WrestleMania 40, after WrestleMania 40, but still, there are still you cannot blame these guys for their departure and what they were doing the best they could with what they were giving with creative. And sometimes the creative in WWE is not always the best. You know, it has its highs and it has its lows and it has its middle. And there were moments that there should have been more that I think any of us would have been able to see that could have been done. And that creative should have done. But definitely a shock for all four of these to be on the list of being departed from WWE. JC Mateo, there was so much more that, as far as matches and rivalries, that he could have had as a solo act if given more of an opportunity, and just wasn't. And definitely so much for Tonga Loa that he and his brother Tama Tonga could have done together as a tag team if really given the opportunity to shine as a tag team. It's a shock, but nonetheless, I'm going to be rooting for these guys because I know they're going to be good. I know they're going to be fine wherever they end up, and we're going to keep rooting for them because that's what I'm going to do, and I know that's what a lot of you are going to do as well. Now, as far as the next thing I wanted to talk about was how those who live outside the U.S., all the internationally, everyone who does not live in the United States, who lives like in Canada or London, any of the other countries who are able to watch WWE internationally on Netflix, all of you got the better deal from us here in the United States, who have to go through at least 3 different streaming sites and 2 different television channels just to watch WWE programming. I mean, we have, for us here in the States, we have Netflix for Monday Night Raw. We have ESPN, the ESPN app for the PLEs. And we have YouTube. If we do like, and we, so, wait, pardon me for a second. Netflix, ESPN app. Oh, and Peacock, pardon me. And Peacock for, that was the third one. My bad. The third one was Peacock for Saturday night's main event. So yeah, and then for the channels, we have CW Network for NXT, and USA Network for SmackDown. Now, we have a bit more that we have to do in order to watch WWE. Now, for those internationally, all of y'all have it so much easier because all of y'all's is in one-stop shop. All of y'all's have it on NXT, have it all on Netflix for Raw, NXT, for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, all the PLEs, and Saturday night's main event is all in one-stop shop. Pardon me, Netflix. That is exactly what we want here in the US. We want one app where we can watch everything WWE, from Raw to SmackDown to NXT to the PLEs to Saturday night's main event. One-stop shop. It's not that hard. We did have it, and it can be done because we had it with the WWE Network. Now, we didn't have it for Raw or SmackDown. No, we had it for the pay-per-views. We had it for the main roster pay-per-views and the NXT pay-per-views. NXT was also on the WWE Network. The fact that we had this thing called the WWE Network that had everything WWE. It had original programming, which wasn't bad. A lot of it was pretty good. And all the Raws and SmackDowns and all the classic pay-per-views that we wanted to watch was all there on the WWE Network. And it was taken away from us. We had a good thing, but I guess all good things must come to an end. And that was it. And that sucks. You know, that hurt. So yeah, we have the rough end of this. Of having 3 different streaming sites plus 2 television channels to watch everything we want to watch when it comes to WWE. If we can't have back the WWE Network or some form of that, it would make life a lot easier, especially our pocketbooks, if we had just Netflix. You know, if WWE could do what they do here in the US that they do internationally with all their WWE programming and do that here on Netflix, that would be great. That would make it easier for us, and it'd make it a lot easier on our pocketbooks, because I feel that there's a lot of streaming sites. I feel that the streaming sites where we watch WWE programming, we can cancel that because then we don't need that anymore, because we have the one streaming site that we want to watch everything WWE here in the US, which is Netflix. If that's where it's going to be, let it be on Netflix. You know, keep your Raw on Netflix. When the contract runs up for SmackDown and NXT, throw it on Netflix. When the contract runs up for the PLEs on ESPN, throw it on Netflix. When the contract runs up for NXT PLEs, throw it on Netflix. It should all be on Netflix. Now, I know a lot of these contracts aren't going to end until like 2027 or 28 or like sometime in the 2030s, but when it does, throw it on Netflix. I know for WWE, or what I should say, I know for TKO, it's probably a big ask, but it makes it so much easier on our pocketbooks as customers and consumers if it was on one-stop shop. Now, I know it's wishful thinking on my part to think that would ever happen for us here in the United States, but it's not impossible. It can happen. We did have it once, and we should have it again. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, unless you have VPN, unless you're using VPN to watch everything on Netflix and you're able to get away with it, because I know the laws and stuff are iffy about it, But if you're able to do it and get away with it, good on you. Good on you for it. The other thing I want to talk about is Backlash. Now, I'm not talking about the matches that we have coming for Backlash as far as predictions and all that stuff. I might do something like that as far like predictions for Backlash sometime next week, because Backlash is coming up this week. So maybe later on this week, I might do a prediction for the matches we have. Maybe, I don't know. But as far as Backlash is concerned, they're doing this again with ESPN. The first hour of Backlash will be on ESPN2. I thought it was just going to be a one-time thing when it comes to WrestleMania, but this seems that as they're continuing to do this with Backlash, showing the first hour of Backlash on ESPN2, this feels like something new that they're going to be doing for every PLE for the foreseeable future. We will see at the end of the month for Clash in Italy if they do that again, but if they're doing it for Backlash, I think it would be safe to assume they're doing this for every PLE, where the first hour of that PLE will be shown on ESPN2 or ESPN. I don't like it, but it is what it is, right? So we move on. And now, one last thing I want to talk about is the vibe. Is what the vibe was like. What the vibe has been like for SmackDown as of late. The vibe for SmackDown as of late has been a little off. You know, I find myself a little bored at times with SmackDown. You know, Raw is running well, is doing well. You know, I don't feel bored watching Raw. I don't feel bored when I watch NXT, but as of late, I've been feeling bored watching SmackDown, and I feel that there's a lot has to do with so much is changing on SmackDown that I'm trying to figure out the right words to say it, but I just feel like a lot has been changing on SmackDown that it's hard, that it might be a little difficult to put on an exciting show when so much has been changing as of late. But that's not an excuse. I mean, the team that you have with you, with Hunter, with Triple H running it, it shouldn't feel boring, you know? But there are moments within the show where it just feels dull a little bit. It feels boring. And it might also because they're running out what's left of the 3 hours before they go back to 2 hours, either in June or July. But still, the vibe of SmackDown isn't what it used to be. And I'm not worried. At least not yet. I'm not worried yet. But it's just a little dull and a little boring. And it's not like I'm going to stop watching it. I'm going to stay with it because this feels like one of those low points for SmackDown right now. And you stick with the thing you love because eventually there will come a point where it gets high again. So I stick with it regardless. But just wanted to, that was really the last thing I wanted to really just come out and say was that SmackDown has just really been feeling dull as of late. The vibe of it hasn't been good. And it needs to change a lot. It needs, well, not a lot, but it just needs, they need to pick it up. So I'm hoping they get to that as soon as possible. We'll see how this SmackDown turns out. This SmackDown that's coming up this week will be the final SmackDown before Backlash this Saturday. So we will see. But yeah, I've just been feeling a little dull as of late. So yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for this week on Wrestling with Rumors. I'm Anthony K. Thomas, and appreciate all you for watching, for listening. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors and my short Rumor of the Day drops, as well as any other wrestling content that comes up on this channel. Go ahead and hit a like. Go ahead and leave a comment, and I appreciate all of you for watching, for listening, and Hope all you have a good, fun, and safe week. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all on that next one. Peace, y'all.